What's up, y'all? What's going on? It's the late night show with DJ PAKMAN. I know we have not been on in a minute, but that's for good reason. We were trying to set up to have an amazing show, trying to have a beautiful show. So we're going to go ahead and have just that. We're going to have a great show for you today. As always, we're going to go ahead and talk about our sponsors first. But before we could do that, we're going to go ahead and adjust the camera just a little bit so it looks a little bit better. I'll be right back. I have a tech, but I'm also a tech, so. Okay, ladies, that looks better, right? Yeah, that looks better. That's more, it's a little bit more space. Makes me look a little bit thinner, I think, you know? We had to, like, lift the camera up a little bit, so, you know, when you angle down the camera, you make people look thinner. That's what I was going for. I've been working out, so, you know, been trying to hit the gym and try to do that workout stuff so I could look a little bit thinner. And today, I was like, if I don't look thinner because I lost weight, I'm gonna do it because I have camera tricks that I have up my sleeve, so I look a little bit thinner. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get started with our show. Today we have a very special show. We're gonna talk about the fundamentals in my experience of what it takes to be a wedding DJ. And then we're gonna answer the question if a wedding DJ could be a club DJ or a club DJ could be a wedding DJ, and what both look like and what the difference is, and if there even should be a difference, or if people should stick to their own lane. But as always, before we do any of that, we're gonna go ahead and do a cheers with all of you. Cheers. This is on my other show, I try not to mention that I have alcohol, but on the late night show with DJ PAKMAN, I've always been really proud of drinking quality tequila. So this is Paloma. This is Squirt with tequila. And then the tequila is Reposado. And the Reposado is the Kirkland brand, the brand from Costco. It's actually pretty darn good. I really like it. I have nothing against it. I have nothing bad to say against it. I've looked into it, and, you know, they use quality products. They're not the best, but they do use quality products. So probably by next week, I'll have some better tequila. If my sponsors grant me the wish of bringing quality tequila to the show, right? And as a matter of fact, I just cheered with all of you, but what I meant to do is I wanted to cheer with my sponsors. I want to say a big thank you to all of my sponsors for making the show happen every single week. So in that context, we're going to go ahead and get started with thanking our sponsors, and we're going to start off with none other than Orbit Event Rentals. As always, it is such a pleasure to be sponsored by Orbit Event Rentals because they're the ones that allow me to do this show. They're the ones that give me the space, the time, I have the privilege of doing this show because of Orbit Event Rentals. We're here in their space. Our office is inside there. Our studio's inside there. And they have always just treated us with such respect and such kindness that I always want to give them a shout out. I want to say thank you to them. And of course, you know, they're one of the show sponsors. So if you are in need of event rentals for your party, for your event, whatever kind of event you have, please hit up orbiteventrentals.com. That is orbiteventrentals.com. Let them know that DJ PAKMAN sent you. And whatever it is that you need, they got you. They have canopies, they have tables, they have chairs, they have linens. They have, if you want to rent a refrigerator, like a commercial refrigerator for your event, they got you. You want to rent a kitchen, a commercial kitchen for an event outside, they got you for that too. So big thank you to orbiteventrentals.com. Let them know I sent you. They will take care of you, I promise. All right, up next, we do have another one of my favorite sponsors, because this sponsor here, I love Montlake Construction because of the quality of their service. They are as much of a perfectionist as I am, and every little detail counts when it comes to their home renovations, when it comes to their kitchen remodels, whatever it is that they're doing. They also do bathroom remodels. They do any home renovation project that you could think of. They will take care of it. And they're perfectionists at it, which means that every detail counts. They look at every single detail, make sure that it is flawless. So if you want a good contractor to come out and do your home project, please hit up montlakeconstruction.com. That's montlakeconstruction.com. And as always, please let them know that I sent you. DJ PAKMAN, the late night show with DJ PAKMAN. Up next, we have a new sponsor, which I'm very proud of this new sponsor. It is Freedom Roofing Company. That is freedomroofingcompany.com. Whether you need a roofing project for your commercial building, residential building, industrial building, whatever it is that you need, they will take care of you, I promise. And I really, really love the team over at Freedom Roofing Company because they are just as much as Montlake Construction, they are amazing at what they do. They're very detail oriented. They're just overall people who care about your project like as if it was their own. So if you have any type of need for your roof, whether the tiles are falling, whether there's missing shingles, or you just need a new roof because you've had it for way too long, please hit up my friends over at freedomroofingcompany.com. Thank you so much. Up next, and last but not least, I have to say a big thank you to the Empress LA. That is the empressla.com. And what they do is they do aesthetics. It is a medical spa, and they do some of the best work in regards to aesthetics. So their philosophy is that they bring your inner beauty, what you already have, what God has given you, they bring it outward, and they just enhance your already existing beauty. And I love that because they're not trying to like make you look fake. They're not trying to, do something to just, all the best word I can use is the fake stuff that you see out there. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to make you look as natural and as beautiful as possible because what they're using is your inner beauty. So please hit up my friends over at the Empress LA. They do hair restoration. They do fillers. They do laser hair removal. They do tattoo removals. It's all about just the essence of your beauty to help you with your beauty. So hit up the empressla.com. All right. Whew, that took a minute. All right. I gotta figure out how to get these sponsor clips probably throughout the show instead of just doing them all at once in the beginning and then all at once at the end of the show. I gotta figure that out. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the late night show with DJ PAKMAN, and we just talk about DJ stuff. So I talk about DJ stuff. I kind of bring your topics that I think all DJs talk about, like within themselves. Like, I have a bunch of DJ friends, and these are things that we're always conversating about, and I try to share them with the world. So that's what we're going to do today, and we're going to go ahead and answer the question of whether a DJ should have multiple hats on, right? And what do I mean by that is, should a DJ be a wedding DJ? Should a DJ be a club DJ? Should a DJ be a corporate DJ? A radio DJ? What does it mean to be a DJ? What does that mean, right? Like, and I think the fact that the DJ career, the DJ passion is so tied into creativity, it's really hard to define where a DJ should go, right? I think any DJ. There's also touring DJs, right? Like what are touring DJs? Touring DJs are like, hey, a band needs a DJ to go with them all throughout the world, right? Like, let's say I think D12 with Eminem just posted on their Instagram that they're looking for a DJ. That would be a touring DJ. So any DJ that would, at least in my opinion, at least any new DJ that's not already doing something big with their career, if Eminem, Dr. Dre, if, let's see, I don't know, let's name Pink. Oh my God, what's the K-pop band? Randy, what's the K-pop band? Pink, the pink one, the Blackpink. Is it Blackpink?
Blackpink. Yeah.
Blackpink. Yeah. Any DJ, if they heard from a band and they were approached by a band and told, hey, you want to come tour with us? I think any DJ that's new would jump on that, like, right away.
I would jump on it.
Yeah, Randy, the tech, he's saying he would leave the show immediately and just go do that. Well, he volunteers. He doesn't get paid, so that's a story for another day.
Yourself the reason why I leave.
He just said, I burned myself as to why he would leave. There you go. No loyalty, whatever's. All good. So any DJ would take on that opportunity, right? Even if they're a wedding DJ, right? Even if they're a club DJ, even if they're just starting out in their career and they get approached with an opportunity, I think they would take it. Um, so it's just so hard to define the role of a DJ, right? Because it fits so many different hats, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna go DJ for Universal Studios. Universal Studios. I just went to Universal Studios and they had a DJ at their, they had like a little lot where they had a party going on and they had a DJ and the DJ was, just emceeing and that's what I'm trying to say. Like a DJ can be very adaptable to many different environments, to many different types of events that are happening, and it's hard to put a DJ on a specific lane and for them to just kind of hold on to that lane, right? There's many DJs that I promise you, like they're probably wedding DJs or they call themselves wedding DJs, but like I feel that if EDC called them, they would immediately jump on that, like immediately. If Pascal from EDC called a wedding DJ, it's like, hey, I heard your stuff and I think you're cool, like come do a set for EDC. They'd be like, they would call their gig, they would call their wedding gig and be like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna miss your wedding gig because it lands on EDC and I'm gonna go do EDC. Hopefully with a replacement, relax, everybody chill. Hopefully with a replacement, and I hope the wedding couple would understand that, yes, of course, like, you have this great opportunity to go EDC. Why not? Go take it. Go live your dream. So I think, once again, it's just hard to define the role of a DJ, okay? Now, in saying all that and finishing with that topic, I want to go into the categories of DJs and what they mean and what their roles are. And we're going to start off with, I think, one of the most popular DJ categories, which is the wedding DJ. I think wedding DJs are the most used DJs in the private sector. In the private sector. I'm going to say in the private sector because those are like, parties that are just like family gatherings, right? So I think wedding DJs are the ones that are the most used in that type of event. And what makes a wedding DJ, right? So once again, it goes into like trying to put somebody in the lane, right? But a wedding DJ is someone that's going to dress professionally. That's I think image is everything. So I think the first thing that a wedding DJ is going to do is they're going to dress professionally. Step one. And you could get to a gig and set up and be in your comfortable clothes and that's perfectly fine. But you're gonna have like your backup clothes, and you're gonna change. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'm gonna go look good. I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing, put my gel on, whatever. Get a haircut, whatever, to look good. And why is that, right? Why is that important? Well, because everybody at the wedding is gonna be. When you go to a wedding, that's you're going dressed top notch. You don't want to be a bum. You don't want to look like a bum, right? So you're gonna dress professionally. Number one. I wrote some notes down here. The other thing that wedding DJ is gonna be really good at, and if they're not good at this, they're gonna have someone that is good at it. So they're gonna MC, right? They're going to be able to speak on the mic. They're gonna build the audience, right, for different events, right? They're going to hype up the crowd. I think that's an important one. They're gonna hype up the crowd, and that's important. And that's important to a lot of couples and parties. And here's the thing about it. This might be a controversial thing to say, but I don't think it is. A wedding DJ is probably the most crucial thing to a wedding. And it really is. Like, when you think of weddings you've been to, right? Kind of look back into your memory bank, go through your brain a little bit, right? And go back to all the weddings you've been to. And you think of like what you remember. And I promise you, all of you at home that are doing this exercise with me, you're going through your memory bank. And the thing that you remember about those weddings, and I'm doing it in my head too. I'm not just telling you to do it. I'm doing it myself. I look at the weddings I've been to as a guest. And the thing I remember the most were people dancing. Were people having a good time. Was it fun? I don't think about the food. I don't think about the I don't even think about the venue. I don't think about the venue. I don't think about how the dress looked. Like, I'm going through my memory right now, and I've done a lot of weddings. I've been to a lot of weddings as a guest, and I've done a lot of weddings as a DJ, and I don't think of how the bride was dressed or how the groom was dressed or what the bridesmaids were wearing or what the groomsmen were wearing. I'm not thinking of any of that. I'm thinking, was it fun? Did I have a good time? Did I talk to people? I remember going to a wedding one time for a friend, and I didn't really know anybody else. I just knew the groom, and I went because I was invited, and I was just like, oh, like I'm gonna do the right thing and show up. You know that they gave me an invitation, and I left early because I didn't know anybody, right? So you kind of look back in your memory bank, and you think, when you think of those weddings you've been to, it's like, what did I do and what did I enjoy and what was it like? And it all goes back to, did I have fun? And that is the job of a wedding DJ. The job of a wedding DJ is to make an event fun. So, in thinking about that, should brides and grooms, should couples even hire a wedding DJ? Oh, that's a great question. Let me tell you a story about it, right? Let me tell you a story about it. There was this time at a wedding where the lights went off. They turned off completely. They just shut down. Like the electricity went off. Just, there was no electricity, right? So me being the DJ, I had no speakers. I had no microphone. I had nothing to do. Like, I was just kind of stuck. And the venue was taking they were calling an electrician. They didn't know what was going on. They tried resetting the breakers and nothing. Like, they couldn't figure out what was going on. So, yeah, it was, it was kind of like an hour and a half, and there was nothing to do. And me as a DJ, I was like, oh, like it was about that time where it was going to do the grand entrance for the couple. And, in my opinion, as a professional DJ and as someone who is the vibe setter, like the one that's kind of like, making the crowd feel good, making the crowd feel like, oh, like we're having a good time. This is fun. Like, we're here enjoying each other's company. I took it upon myself to gather the crowd, right? Gather all the guests using my voice, just using I had no microphone. So I told everybody, like, oh, hey, do me a huge favor. And everybody please gather around. We're outside in the parking lot because we stepped outside because the air conditioning went off too, since there was no electricity. It was really hot. So we were on the parking lot, and I told everybody, like, hey, do me a favor, please gather around. We're going to do the grand entrance for our bride and groom. And I grabbed my cell phone, or I told somebody to please play their first song. And using my voice, I introduced them. I just did an introduction, and I gathered everybody, and I gathered them all in a circle, and I told the whole crowd, just because there's no electricity, it's not going to stop us from celebrating this beautiful couple. So do me a favor and get in a big circle. And I introduced them. I said, all right, we're going to go ahead and introduce our bride and groom. Let's give them a big round of applause, Mr. and Mrs. whatever. And sure enough, they walked in and everybody was cheering. And I told them, it doesn't matter that there's no electricity. We're going to go ahead and continue the party. Like, we're going to make it happen one way or another. And I think somebody played their song on their cell phone, and they did their first dance. And they also did their toast. If I remember correctly, they did their toasts. And, I gathered everybody, and I put them all together, and I continued the party. And I think that's, when you think of why I should hire a DJ cares that an event goes well. Like, it's almost like a little thing inside of you that's like, oh, it's my job to make sure people are vibing, to make sure people are having a good time. like you kind of become a people pleaser a little bit, like in my opinion. Uh, it might be a good or bad thing for your own personal life, but that's I'll talk to my therapist about that. um, I don't have I don't have a therapist. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This is my therapy. I'm probably gonna have a conversation with my mom after she sees this show. I've said too much. I've said too much. No, but honestly, in all honesty, we kind of become people pleasers. We kind of like get into this thing of like, oh, like it's my job to make sure people are having a good time, and you'll kind of do whatever it takes to make that happen. And I know I did that. So should you hire a DJ? Yes, absolutely. You should hire a DJ or a band, because I'm telling you right now, a Spotify playlist and a speaker are not going to do that. They're not going to take that extra step, take that initiative to make your event beautiful. Like, they're just not going to do that, like, obviously. So I would really recommend that, yes, you should hire a DJ for your wedding. And that's one of the roles. That's one of the roles of a wedding DJ. They bring the energy, they bring the experience, and obviously that's just one example. But there's many other examples just with music, right? Obviously now including the music part, because with music you have to make people feel comfortable. You have to make people celebrate. You have to like just create that energy and create that ambience of a party, right? Now, going into that, I'm going to answer a second question. And I think this is also a very good question. And this one is for DJs in general, not just specifically for wedding DJs. I know I'm touching a lot on the wedding DJ category, which is fine. I mean, if I run through the whole show just talking about wedding DJs, it's fine. It's no big deal. But this question right here kind of touches on just the category of DJ on its own. And the question goes as follows: do we just press play? And I know I've talked about this in previous shows, but I think it's such an important question, and I think it's worth talking about it over and over again, and until like enough people hear and understand this. And there's millions of people out there, so I hope I get to some of them. I hope some of them listen to me and really understand the concept of what it is to DJ. And no, it is not just pressing play. I'm pressing play right now. There's no music coming out. There's more knowledge to that than just pressing play. And it's also not just learning the buttons. I think all of this here, the technology that comes with DJing, I honestly think you could learn it in a day. I really do. I'm serious. I teach this stuff, so I really do think you could learn it in a day if you do sit down and practice. Like, if you sit down and practice and do this for 8 hours in one day, you'll get it in a day. Obviously, you'll have to enhance your skills and get better at it and just improve over time. But the fundamentals of it, you will understand them in a day. I promise you, you will understand them in a day. But there's so much more to the fundamentals, right? There's reading energy. There's transferring energy. Like, if you're DJing and I know I've said this on this podcast before. I know for a fact I've said this. If you're here DJing and you're like this, oh my goodness, how boring. You're a boring DJ. Stop. Give up on this career. Give up on this career immediately. Go do something else. Go do accounting. I heard accounting people love being bored with their numbers. And no hate to accounting people. Don't come at me. Don't cancel me. I'm not hating on accounting people, but this is not for you, right? If you're just doing this, no, it's not for you. You gotta be vibing. Yeah, like, people are looking at you. You gotta transfer that energy. You gotta give them something, right? You gotta give the crowd something, even if it's on the microphone. There's a mic right here. Obviously, DJs usually have a wireless microphone, but you gotta give them something. And there's also this big controversy, which I'll get into next, on how much a DJ should talk on the microphone, but we'll get into that. Right now, we're talking about energy, and people read off of your energy. Like, that is very true. Like, I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with someone, but if they're like excited about something, you get excited about something. Like you become excited. If they come to you like, hey, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be this amazing, it's gonna be this great, and then we're gonna do that, and oh my goodness, we're gonna have so much fun, and oh wow, you wanna go with that person. You're like, hey, yeah, absolutely, let's go do that right now because you sound like so much fun and I want to go and do that. It's the same thing for a DJ. If the crowd sees you and you're up here just not having fun, like it's your job. It's literally your job to get people to have fun. How are they going to have fun if you're not having fun? That is $1,000,000 question. How are people going to have fun if you're not having fun, right? And once again, if you're DJing and you're bored, why are you DJing? That's a great question. Don't do it. Just don't. Now, that opens up the opportunity for another question, right? What if you're having an off day? You know, what if, like, I don't know, girlfriend broke up with you? I've heard many of those stories with my DJ friends. So what if your girlfriend broke up with you and you're just not feeling it, right? You're just not about it. But you have to, like, you've been hired as a professional and it's your job to set the mood. It's your job to like vibe out with people. What do you do if you're going through something like that? In my personal opinion, you should really give that gig to a friend or another DJ that's not going through that. And because you got to remember, like, people's parties, sometimes those parties are like once in a lifetime. And these customers, paying customers, are counting on you to provide that once in a lifetime experience for them. And if you're not having a good time, damn, you're kind of killing it for that customer. You're killing it for that family. You're killing it for those guests. So the best thing I would suggest is that you give that to somebody else. Like, hey, you know, I'm not about it today. I'm just not in the mood. Like, my girlfriend broke up with me. I lost my homework. I don't know, whatever. Had a tragedy, whatever the case is. I'm not going to be able to DJ your party, but here's somebody who is not going through something and they'll be able to DJ your party just fine. I think that's a good move. But once again, I think DJs are very self-conscious of the fact that they're the ones bringing the energy to the party and they're the ones that are making people have fun. So I feel overall DJs have a pretty good grasp of making that happen. So I'll just end that topic with that. We're going to go on to the next topic. And that is whether or not, and I said this earlier, whether or not a DJ should MC. That's a very good question. I literally just saw a DJ post that DJs should not be on the microphone that much. And they should kind of just let the music do the talking. I think it's a balance. In the DJ world, that's a very controversial topic, right? Because even at clubs, they have MCs. And if you've been to music festivals, DJs bring their MC and the MC is just hyping up the crowd. And I don't know, like, I think it's a controversial topic because it's got to be a balance. There's no right or wrong answer. And that is the thing with creativity, right? And you kind of just have to feel the vibe out, right? Sometimes you should MC. Sometimes you should be on the microphone. What's up, everybody? What's up, y'all? Let's go. Let me see the party people. Where's my party people at? I want to see y'all make some noise. Y'all making noise tonight or what? All right, how's it going? Come on, let me see everybody. Sometimes you need to do that, right? And sometimes the music does it for you. Like, you're just playing music and people are vibing and you don't need to do all that. You don't need to do any of that. So, and once again, I think the best answer to that is just feel the crowd. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think you just need to feel the crowd, and that's the right answer, and it's per event, and there's no right or wrong. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this answer because, you know, there's people who feel different on both sides of the aisle, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, you know, to each their own. And that's the beauty about creativity. And DJing is a creative field. And I was just talking about this with someone in regards to creativity. No, it's actually somebody, a complete stranger, posted on Instagram. They posted on Instagram that DJs should let the whole song play and then go to the next song and go to the next song. And their reasoning was that because producers took the time to make the song and they should show love to the producers by letting the whole song play and not cutting it, you know, so fast. Because a lot of DJs, you know, they'll cut songs sometimes 15 seconds in, sometimes 30 seconds, sometimes 45 seconds. You know, they're trying to like make transitions. And I replied to that person and I said, like, that you're wrong. You're wrong for this because like the field of DJing is a creative field and a DJ is gonna do what they want to do. Like, it's a creative career. It's, you know, if a DJ in their creativity, they think I'm gonna let the whole song play and that's what they want to do because that's what their creative mind wants them to do and that's the road they're going with, that's fine. Cool, good for you. Like, I'm all for it. But if a DJ wants to cut a song every 15 seconds, that's fine too. It's your creativity. Like, there's no right or wrong. And to try to put them in a box, no, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. Like, let DJs be creative. Like, once again, there's no right or wrong. Like, and what she was, it was a girl DJ. What she was saying wasn't wrong in the sense that like she wanted to hear the whole song or her thing was like let the whole song play. That's fine for her. But what she was saying that I think was wrong was like, well, she was trying to like put everybody in that box. And that's wrong. Let DJs be DJs. What they want to do, they want to do. Like, it's a creative field. It's like if I went and told, I don't know, Michelangelo or Picasso, like, oh no, you gotta paint this different because I think painters should paint this way. Like, they're gonna laugh in your face. They're gonna say, I'm gonna do what I want to do because I'm a painter and I'm the creative one and you're not, and get out of my face, right? So I think it's the same thing with DJing. Like, there's creativity that comes with this and the DJ gets to do whatever they want to do. So much love to that DJ, by the way. I you know, we kind of had an interaction on Instagram, but not anything bad. But much love to her. You know, like what she wants to do is fine. I was just saying, like, you know, let people do what they want to do. It's totally fine. So, anyways, here's the next question. It's how long should I book a wedding DJ for? Oh, this is sticking so much to the wedding DJ, but we're gonna like generalize it. How long should you book a DJ for, right? And that really depends, right? It depends on how good the DJ is. It depends on how long you want your event to be, right? Because a DJ could DJ during dinner time where everybody's sitting down and it's their job to just kind of keep heads moving a little bit, you know, like, oh, like, I'm vibing with this. This is good stuff. And you're preparing guests to like, oh, I could already feel that the dance time is gonna be grooving, right? I'm gonna have a good time. So you want to make sure you hire the DJ. Like, in my opinion, in any event, there should be music in the background. Like, music really makes people feel comfortable, and I think any event should have some type of music, some type of way, right? Obviously, if you're going to a conference and there's going to be a speaker, you shouldn't have music, of course. But even before the speaker goes on, you should have some type of music. I think music is just, it helps people feel comfortable and it helps relax people. So I think just music in general is just an important thing. So how long should you book a DJ? For the duration of your event. I think that's an easy answer. It's just the duration of your event. Whether it's a club night, whether it's a wedding, a conference, whatever. People love music, and music helps people feel a certain way. So I think you should just have music from the entire duration of your event. Here's an interesting question. I'm gonna get really deep into this. Probably gonna run out the rest of the show. But I think it's an important question. And I've actually been meaning to talk about this for a minute. Should DJs play? I don't want to say the. I'm gonna say this word. I was thinking of immoral, but I'm gonna not say immoral because immorality could mean many different things to many different people. So I'm gonna say this word instead. Should DJs play explicit music? As a DJ, I have very how can I put it? I have very divisive feelings about that topic. Should DJs play explicit music? I think it depends on the event, number one. But I've talked to DJs that even at clubs they don't like playing explicit music, and they'll play like clean versions of music because they just don't vibe with it. They don't like it. It's not for them. In my opinion, what I think about explicit music, and this is something I've thought about since I was little, since before I was a DJ, since I started listening to music. Since I started listening to music, I have always had this thought. You can always appreciate melody, beats, instruments without taking in the lyrics. You could like music without taking in the lyrics. And because of that, I have always just been okay with playing explicit music. Like, it's never bothered me. Now, the question goes, are you responsible for people's actions when you play explicit music? And my answer to that has always been no. I don't think so. I don't think you have any sense of responsibility for what people do or don't do when they're dancing because you're playing the music that you're playing. I don't find any responsibility on my end. When I see somebody on the dance floor and they're hammered, I don't think to myself, man, that person got so drunk because I played music. I've never thought that. I've always thought what people do, they know their limits. They know their limits. They're responsible for their actions. What I play has nothing to do with that. Even if I'm playing explicit music, which once again, I'm perfectly fine with. I don't see anything wrong with it. Like if it's popular and it's vibey and it's got good rhythm and it's gonna make people dance, I'm gonna play it because that's my job, is to make people dance and to make people happy, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting, right? Here's where it gets a little bit dicey. I'm also a believer, I'm a big believer that words have energy, right? I don't know if you've ever seen this, but there's like a study that was done on plants, and one plant had classical music played, one plant had explicit music played, one plant had like hard rock or heavy metal played, and they tested the growth of all the plants. And the plants with what you would call positive music grew better than the plants with what you would call negative or not negative, maybe harsh or just very, like heavy metal, like, it's just loud and like in your face, right? Like, I don't want to call it bad music. I don't want to call it negative music because I don't necessarily think it's bad or negative, but it is just like in your face, right? The plants with the classical music grew better than these plants. So I think music and I think lyrics, I think words can be, they have energy. They convey energy to the listener. So it gets a little bit dicey on whether or not you should play it for people or not play it for people. And once again, I don't hold myself responsible for their actions. That's not on me. But what I do hold responsible on my end is the energy that I'm feeding, right? Because I'm playing the music, the energy that I'm feeding to the guests, right? If I believe lyrics have energy, the words, your vocabulary, it's either good for you or bad for you, and they're listening to these words, I'm responsible for that. So it's a controversial topic at least. At the very least. And it's something that I think about a lot. Like, oh, should you continue doing this, or should you figure out how to only play music that I would deem positive? And my answer always goes back to, my job is to make people dance, and I want to make people dance and have fun. I'm gonna play the music that creates that environment, right? But overall, it's a difficult subject. What do you think about it? Like, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from people and their thoughts behind this, because I think I think the thing with being a DJ and what makes it so difficult to answer this question is that I absolutely love music. Like, I've never done drugs in my life. Well, I guess outside of alcohol, but I've never done drugs in my life, and I could almost relate that to like, oh well, I have music, and because I just love music. I'm always listening to music, and music is, you're in a state of trance when you're listening to music. So it's like, sometimes I say, like, music is my drug. That's like, it helps me, like, when I'm working, I'm listening to music. When obviously I'm a DJ, when I'm running, doing my workouts, I'm listening to music. Like, and I always try to play positive music. Like, I'll listen to Christian music, or I'll listen to like EDM that's like high energy, like, good, what I would think is good energy, EDM. So yeah, it's just a controversial topic, and when my answer is my opinion, right? My answer is my opinion. So, but what's your opinion? And what's your take on it? And that's the beauty of having an opinion, right? It's yours. We don't all have to agree, but but the one thing I can say is that words do have energy. I genuinely believe that. Like, what they say, like, psychological studies, if you like talk down on yourself, you're putting your own self down. But if you talk yourself up, or if you like do the Superman pose, right? You do a Superman pose, you're like, just your endorphins kick in, and you're gonna have a better day, right? Like, kind of, just 5 seconds of this, you're gonna have a better day just for doing 5 seconds of this. It's crazy, right? But it works. It really does. And I think the same thing about music, and I think the same thing about the lyrics. So yeah, it's a controversial topic. It's very divisive. So I would love to know what you think. Before I continue with this podcast, I'm gonna go ahead and check how much time we have left.
9.
We got 9 minutes left. All right, moving on to the next question. And I think that's a very... And the reason I asked that question is because the question was, what should be on your do not playlist? And that's just a hard one. And also, please, kind of answering that question, what should be on your do not playlist? Listen to whoever paid you. I think that's a very professional way to go about it. Listen to whoever paid you. Respect the person that paid you. I remember I had this client one time, and actually, here's what happened. I got booked to DJ a quinceañera from another DJ agency, right? So this DJ agency, we worked together back then. This is probably like 10, maybe 15 years ago. We worked together, and they gave me gigs because I was just starting my agency. So they would give me gigs. And one of these gigs was a quinceañera, and the client had requested that I don't play any explicit music, which is funny that we just talked about that. The client had requested that I don't play any explicit music. And the owner of the company, the owner of the agency, told me that. He said, please be very careful with the music that you play. This client is very picky, and they want to make sure that they don't listen to anything negative. Don't worry, I got you. And obviously, even back then, you could download clean music on the DJ pools, and it's very important to have both versions of songs, right? The clean version and the dirty version, just for these occasions. So I get to the party, I'm at the party, and I'm DJing, and everybody's having a good time. It was like an amazing party. The vibe was there. Everybody was just vibing. They were partying. It was just such a great party. Like, when I left, thank you so much. Oh my God, I really appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. It was just, everybody had a blast at this party. But that Monday, get a call from the owner of the agency. He's like, hey man, what happened? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, how'd the party go? It's like, oh, the party went great. It was an amazing party. Like, everybody had such a good time. The entire family thanked me. That, like, we all just vibed. Like, it was a killer party. Like, it was so much fun. And he was like, well, the customer's not happy. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, nah, no way. That can't possibly be true. He's like, yeah, the customer called me and they're not happy. They're not happy with the services that you provided. And I said, may I ask why? And he said, I specifically told you not to play any dirty music. And and they're complaining that you played a song and the song said marijuana. It's a Spanish song, and I know exactly what song he's talking about. And I was like, bro, like, that's a clean song. Like, it just said marijuana. Like, that's all it said. Like, it wasn't a dirty song. Like, it was actually a cumbia track. Like, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And he said, no, like, there was kids there. And she didn't want any explicit lyrics to be heard by the kids. There was a quinceañera. And that just goes to show you that the people that are booking you, they have expectations. And I mean, to me, maybe that customer was exaggerating. Maybe. But they could do that, right? Because it's their money. Like, they're paying for it. They want you to... I've had other customers give me a Spotify playlist and tell me play from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 and just go on this order and just mix them in and out. That's what I did, right? They're paying. So it just goes to show, like, you gotta respect the client. It's their money. It's their time. They're paying for you to be there to kind of do what they want. Yes, you're gonna have customers that are gonna do you. I've heard you. I saw you at this club. I saw you at this party. I freaking loved you. You do you. Okay, got it. Thank you. Let me do me. And then you're gonna have customers like this customer that, no, like, I don't even want to hear one word that means anything bad. Okay, you're paying. And like I said, I don't know how I would have avoided that. Like, I obviously didn't think anything of it. I don't know if more communication or maybe just, now kind of like that experience taught me that even moving forward, like, songs that say things like that, I'm just not going to play. And it is what it is. But yeah, like that's the extent of where vocabulary fits in people's minds, right? We all think about it differently. And if you should play something or not play it, it just kind of depends more on your client. And then, it also, it depends on your client, what they're paying for. And then it depends on the vibe that you're trying to give off as a DJ as well, too. Like, do you want to be the DJ that plays this category of music? Do you want to be the DJ that plays this category? Just kind of like, where do you want to fit, right? Where do you want to be seen? And once again, I was saying earlier, right, when I started the show, I was like, it's hard to fit DJs in categories and put them in boxes. It's hard to do that from an outside perspective, but your own internal values, you could do that for yourself, right? Like, that's fine. It's fine to do it on your own. If you're like, hey, I want to be a reggaeton DJ and all I'm going to play ever is reggaeton, do you. Have fun with that. Go crazy, right? All I want to do is play hardstyle. All I want to do is play Latin house. All I want to do is play hip hop, whatever. Do you. You could put yourself in a box, but other people cannot do that for you. So as a DJ, it's a creative field and you could put limits on yourself, but I don't think other people could put limits on you. Like, it just doesn't work that way. So anyways, I hope you had a great time with the late night show with DJ PAKMAN. Once again, what we talk about is just topics about DJing because I do this for a living. And I just feel that it's nice to share what I do and what I go through with the world. That's what this is. So thank you. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for all of those who watch on YouTube or on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I really appreciate all of you. And yeah, thank you for letting me share. Thank you for lending an ear. That's a good one. Thank you for lending an ear. Now let's go ahead and thank our sponsors. And we're going to go ahead and start off with Orbit Event Rentals. You know, I'm going to repeat the spiel, so I just want you to know that. But big thank you to Orbit Event Rentals. Thank you, because they are the ones that allow me the space to be able to do this. They allow me to do what I love. I have this studio because of Orbit Event Rentals. So thank you so much, Orbit Event Rentals, for making this happen. They are an event rental company. They do canopies, they do tables, chairs, linens, anything you could think of in regards to your event where you need rentals. Please hit up orbiteventrentals.com and let them know I sent you. Ladies and gentlemen, up next, I want to say a big thank you to Montlake Construction. That is montlakeconstruction.com. They do home renovations, they do kitchen remodels, they do bathroom remodels. Any beautification project that you have for your home, you have to hit up montlakeconstruction.com. They will take care of you. And what I love about them is that they are perfectionists at their craft. They look at every detail and they want to make sure it is perfect. So hit up montlakeconstruction.com. Up next, I want to say a big thank you to one of our new sponsors. This is Freedom Roofing Company. This is freedomroofingcompany.com. And it's the same thing. I love how detail oriented they are over there at Freedom Roofing Company. If your building needs a re-roof, it's missing tiles, it's missing shingles, you have some leaks, whatever the case is, please hit up freedomroofingcompany.com. They will take care of you. Let them know I sent you. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say a big thank you to the Empress LA. That's the empressla.com. Look, what they do at the empressla.com is they do hair restoration, they do laser hair removal, they do laser tattoo removals, they do lip fillers. They basically do anything to enhance your already glowing beauty, and they bring all of that inner beauty to light. And they're really good at it. So please hit up the empressla.com. They will take care of you, and let all of these sponsors know that you heard of them at the Late Night Show with DJ PAKMAN. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll catch you all next week.